Nai te ruru e kōkou ne ki hei mō hiti ki hei mō roko. Tau upo nui o te ruru te reko hepo, heo, kawa te ao. Tēnei au te hokai nei taku tapu e te hokai nuku, te hokai rangi, te hokai ā toku tūpuna tāne nui ārangi. I pigiti ai ki ngā rangi tū hāhā ki te tihi o mānono. I roko hina tura i o matua kore anake. I riro i hōwai ngā kete o te wānanga ko te kete tuauri, ko te kete tuātea, ko te kete aronui. Ka tiritiri a ka paupaua, kia papatua nuku ka puta te ira tangata ki te whai o te o marama. Whāno haramai te toki, haumi e, hui e, taiki e. Rere kau atu nei te mihi, rere kau atu nei te tangi. Nei rāno te mihi o tēnei, he uri o tū rā koutahi, he uri o tahu pōtiki, kia koutou, kua whakaemi nei, raro i te tāhuhu o tō tātou nei whare a te hononga tēnā koutou. Koutou, ngā whānau tau tīnei, koutou, te hunga tau kāia, e tau toko wana nei a koutou ngā rangatira. Hoki ngā mahara ki o koutou, kau mātua, ki o tātou rangatira, ari kihia tau. Te rā, te upoko tawhito, kua mene atu ki te pō. Ko tōna uri, a te maere tau, nā no te tono kia tau mai nei au, ki te whakatau nei a koutou, i tēnei wā. He wā whakaharahara tēnei, he wā whakahirahira tēnei, ki te whakatau i a koutou, i ngā huatanga nei. Nō reira rā koutou nā. Tēnei te mihi nunui, o mātou o ngai tua huriri, tēnei anō ngā mihi o ngai tahu whānui kia koutou, e tiaki nei tēnei tō tātou taone o tautahi. Te rā ngā pākihi whakatekateka o waitaha, te rā hoki te pātaka o rākai hautu. Me mihi kātika kia koutou. Rere kau atu ana nei ngā mihi kia koe, te rangatira te pau. E te mea, me mihi kātika kia koe. Poto nei taku mihi kia koutou, kia huri ake au, ki te reo tuarua, aha koa ka whati nei te kawa o tō tātou nei reo rangatira. Tēnā koutou. Good evening, or afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I stand here on behalf of Ngai Tuahuriri, on behalf of Ngai Tahu, under the guidance of Te Maere Tau, our upoko rangatira, who was the son of our previous upoko 3 years ago, Rakihia Tau. I acknowledge our uncle, our leader, who unfortunately passed away a year or so ago. I also wish to pay acknowledge to our kaumātua, Uncle Charlie Crofts, who would be standing where I am, welcoming you guys here. Unfortunately, due to health, he made me do it. But on behalf of Ngai Tuahuriri, on behalf of Ngai Tahu, first and foremost, let me congratulate the councillors, the speakers of each of your rohe takiwa, your wards. In this auspicious occasion, I wish to extend our acknowledgement to you. This whare te hononga is co-owned with Ngai Tahu. Te hononga means to collaborate and to come together. And I wish to acknowledge the relationship of Te Hononga, Christchurch City Council, and the 6 papa tipu runanga te kāhui kahukura, and to work together for 3 years and longer. So councillors, on this auspicious occasion, we wish to thank you and acknowledge you for all the tremendous work you are about to do. The mea, ngā nui nei ngā mihi kia koe te wahine rangatira. Nui rawa nei ngā mihi o tō mātou nei paua, hākoro a Charlie Crofts ki runga i a koe. Kia koutou ngā whānau, to the families and supporters, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, mauri ora ki te whare.
I wish to hand the mantle over to the CE of the Kali Networks. Kai a koe te wā.
Thank you. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. My name is Carleen Edwards and I'm very privileged to be the Chief Executive of the Christchurch City Council. I'd like to just start by formally declaring the inaugural meeting of the 2016-2019 Christchurch City Council open. Firstly, some housekeeping. We wish to advise that the meeting today is being live streamed. And those who can't be seated in the gallery here will also be live streamed in our committee room just behind the front doors. I would also like to start just by welcoming our new councillors and also to welcome our families, supporters of our elected members, media and staff. Today we're going to witness the declaration of the Mayor and councillors who will also say a few words taking their seats before taking their seats around the council table. After that we'll move into the formal business of the council and at the end of the meeting invite everyone to join us for some refreshments in the foyer outside the chamber. But before we begin the declarations, I want to add my congratulations to elected councillors and mayor, our re-elected mayor, our re-elected councillors and our new councillors. As an organisation, we're really excited about the new triennium and about working closely with you all in the best interests of our city. You've been elected collectively to lead the city, and from our workshops this week, I've been really impressed and I have no doubt about your passion and your commitment to providing the best opportunities for Christchurch City. I was particularly impressed to hear you speak of strengthening and empowering communities, of collaborating to achieve your aspirations, and of raising the quiet voices that so often don't get heard. So hold on to your aspirations. There'll be times of unfettered success and times of real frustration. But as an organisation, we're here to serve you and support you with the objective of serving our community. We share with you the desire to make a positive difference for the people of Christchurch and in making the city a great place to be. I think that being part of this institution of local government is a real privilege. Where else do you get to make every decision that you make, every action that you take, have an impact on people's lives every day? It's a really unique and privileged position to be. But with many of you re-elected, I can also add that so much was done in the last triennium. So much was achieved in the previous term that we're really in a new and exciting phase in Christchurch's history. With stability of our finances, conclusion over our insurance, rebuilding and opening of key community facilities, and that strong strategic thinking about the future, I think you've all got a lot to be proud of. We've really turned a corner, I think. And as New Zealand's newest city, we have new opportunities, new relationships to be developed and built on, and enhanced focus on regeneration. It's an amazing time to be part of the City of Christchurch. And I know that you'll have an exciting time and a privileged time as leaders of Christchurch. And as an organisation, we're looking forward to working closely with you all over the next 3 years. So on to the business of the day. It's my absolute pleasure and privilege to witness the declaration of our re-elected Mayor of Christchurch, Leanne Dalzell, and I invite her to come up now to make that declaration.
I, Leanne Audrey Dalzell, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the City of Christchurch the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as Mayor of Christchurch by virtue of Mayor of Christchurch City by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987 or any other act. E te whare te honona, tēnā koe. E te papa e waho, tēnā koe. E nā mate, haere, haere, haere. E nā iwi, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. Tēnā rā tātou katoa. I want to begin by thanking the people of Christchurch for putting their faith in me again. People have said to me that mine is a thankless job. I beg to differ. It is in fact a challenging and exciting one, and one which actually gets lots of thanks. I've been so grateful to the many people who've come up to me over the last 3 years, be it in the street, the malls, around the park, the gardens, just to say thank you to me for being their mayor and offering me words of encouragement and support. That's actually what's kept me going. I want to thank my campaign team for this campaign, as well as my husband Rob, who has offered me so much personal encouragement and support over the past 3 years. I stood here 3 years ago full of anticipation for the opportunities that lay ahead. And as a council, we were instantly engaged in the enormous sense of possibility that lay ahead. We had so much in common. We all wanted to achieve so much. I pay tribute to that council who worked tirelessly on getting our finances in order and our insurance settled, and on putting the city back on track to take advantage of all of the opportunities that recovery and regeneration offer us all. No one should underestimate the importance of what we've achieved. We have Regenerate Christchurch, jointly appointed by the council, government and Ngāi Tahu, a partnership that has community engagement embedded in its mandate. Together we have laid a firm foundation for the city's future and its place as the international gateway to the South Island of New Zealand. And of course I will add Antarctica, New Zealand to that as well. The election result has provided a real endorsement for the direction our council has taken and provided an incredible mandate for the term ahead. The council can now begin its strategic planning and goal setting for this term with a huge amount of confidence. We have already met informally as a council and we are ready to go. We have high aspirations, but we also know that the basics need to be done. The underground work is almost done, so we can put our foot on the accelerator for the roads and footpaths. We'll start to see fewer and fewer cones on our streets, and when we do, it will be the broadband coming through. Our description of our city is evolving. We are a city with opportunity, open to new ideas, new people and new ways of doing things, a city where anything is possible. From hosting the first New Zealand trial of a fully autonomous electric vehicle to TEDx in just 2 weeks' time, to Singularity University coming this year and the Social Enterprise World Forum next year. And I see that invitations have just started arriving for the opening of the Christchurch Adventure Park on the 16th of December. We are really putting the city back on the map, both nationally and internationally. I look forward to working with the new council, and I'm delighted to announce Andrew Turner as the new Deputy Mayor of Christchurch. In making that announcement, I want to pay tribute to Councillor Vicky Buck. She has been personally responsible for encouraging the sort of innovation and creativity that will be forever embedded in the DNA of our city, and we owe that to you. Her unqualified and unequalled council experience and local government knowledge, combined with her passion for ignoring it where is necessary and commitment to the city of opportunity, has been one of the huge strengths that I've had the pleasure of receiving and been of enormous personal support to me, and I'll never ever be able to thank you enough for what you have done for me and for the city. No pressure, Andrew. I have full confidence in you. I have watched your steady and well-considered approach to your work and your community, and I know that you will bring these attributes and many others to your new role. I haven't got time, because I've told everyone to be very brief, to express all of my hopes and dreams for this term, but I want us to have shown at the end of the next 3 years that democracy means much more than a tick on a ballot paper. It has been hugely challenging but enormously rewarding to lead the city through the first stage of the transition from recovery to regeneration. Now it is time to build on the foundation that has been laid and start to deliver on the promise of the sustainable yet dynamic 21st century city we can become, and where the well-being of our communities is always paramount. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā tātou katoa. So, may I invite Andrew Turner to come forward. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks. I, Andrew David Turner, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform, in the best interests of the City of Christchurch, the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Sign that. Want to grab a sip?
I'd like to start by thanking family, friends and colleagues who encouraged me to stand for re-election and who supported me through the election period and also through the last term of council. Being a family member of a council is not easy for a number of reasons, and I'd like to thank those closest to me, particularly my partner Glenn, for their unwavering support of me and their ongoing confidence in me. I look forward to another 3 years of performing the role of councillor, or maybe more correctly I should say performing the roles of councillor, both representation and governance, The people of Banks Peninsula can be confident that I will continue to represent them well to ensure their issues, which are often quite different than the issues facing the rest of the city, will be well heard and well understood, and can be sure that by working as part of the new community board, I will ensure that Banks Peninsula issues are resolved and that Banks Peninsula's aspirations are met. Equally, my commitment to the whole city is to be good and prudent as a governor, to absolutely make the most of the exciting opportunities which are in front of us in this term of council, to exercise good judgment, and to make sure that issues are resolved and that excellent outcomes are achieved in the next 3 years for the whole city. Not just for the city centre, but also with a strong focus on our suburban centres and their redevelopment as well. Areas like Littleton, Sydenham, Woolston, Linwood and Bishopdale. Christchurch is in a very exciting period in its history, particularly in its transition to a rebuilt and regenerated, vibrant, modern city. And we need to ensure as a council that we take every opportunity presented to us in this term to make the most of that opportunity. I look forward to working collaboratively as a member of this new council, to playing a role in ensuring that we work together as one effective team to deliver for the city, that issues are well debated and that well-considered decisions are made, and ensuring that the outcomes that were talked about so much during the election period, among them equality, fairness, equity, openness, transparency, engagement, accessibility, good governance and good stewardship, are core planks of everything that we do as a council. Today's inauguration of this council marks the beginning of the next stage in our journey, and I look forward to it.
Just a warning, the rest is in alphabetical order. So could I call Vicky back? I, Vicky Susan Buck, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the City of Christchurch the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987 or any other act.
We're going to do something about that declaration, don't we?
My turn. Can I first of all say thank you to my campaign committee who had to work so hard. You did a sterling job. And secondly, I want to congratulate both Leanne on being re-elected, and I particularly want to congratulate Andrew on being Deputy Mayor, and I'm just thrilled that you are, Andrew. Wasn't a job I wanted, and I have to say I'm delighted that somebody else is going to be doing it. So my heartiest congratulations to you. I recall actually my dad, who actually died about 23 years ago, when he, not telling us because he was embarrassed to tell us that when he was in the army, he was called up on a charge of dumb insolence because he laughed at the person in charge of the army. And I actually thought it was fantastic, and he had such a healthy disrespect for any hierarchies or titles that I see has been genetically passed through our entire family. And I'm hoping I've passed it on to my kids as well, and I'm pretty sure I have. So I've got no problem about what people are called or not. I think within each one of us is the capacity to do magic, and that resides within you, regardless of where in any hierarchical situation, and I hate hierarchies, that there is. So I just want to say that I think the best asset any city has is its people. And it's always going to be the people, and it's the brains and the innovation and the creativity and the compassion and the kindness that those people have that makes such a huge difference. And one of the joys of being Deputy Mayor is that you see that throughout the city every day. The magic that people have worked in this city is absolutely extraordinary, and that's what's making this city
a city where it really is a city where anything is possible. And I think that's the cool thing. I have to say, just in relation to housing, that the CHIP registration came through today, which has only been 3 years in the making and is absolutely fantastic. In terms of the challenges that we face for the next while, given that we have the capacity to do things, climate change is going to be one of the huge challenges of everybody, not just the city, but everybody. One of the things that you don't know, and I'll be incredibly brief, is that local government is really very exciting. Now, we keep that incredibly secret so that people, don't know that, but it is actually dealing with really fun things. And the capacity that you have within local government to make a difference to people's daily lives and to their sense of community and respect within that community is absolutely brilliant. I think we all have an amazing opportunity to make a difference, and I just particularly want to thank the staff of this organisation, who I think do an amazing job every day, who are actually really passionate about what they do and who have amazing ideas and innovative ways of doing things themselves, which we need to release upon the world. So thank you and good luck to everybody, because I think it's going to be a fun 3 years.
Councillor Jimmy Chen.
Thank you, Mayor. I, Jimmy Jinong Chen, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interest of the city of Christchurch the powers, authorities, and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and the Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Oh, yes. Okay. Ina iwi ina mana kira koto, tena koto, tena koto, tena koto katoa. The Mayor, my fellow councillors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Jimmy Chen, and this is my third term as a councillor. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to the people of Christchurch, especially the people of Hornby Ward, for voting for me once again and giving me the opportunity to represent them on the council. I also would like to take this opportunity and publicly acknowledge my wife, 2 daughters, my son-in-law, my grandson, my campaign team, my friends, and all my supporters for their continued support and encouragement in my role as a councillor as well as the community board member. I received 3,416 votes. Each of these votes represents the people of my community who show trust in me, support me, and vote for me. I promise that I continue to do my best to serve them and to provide them with quality advice and information about the council's services. As a councillor, for the next 3 years, I focus on the following issues: citywide, implementation of the multicultural strategy, give each single person in Christchurch a sense of belonging; strengthening the international relationships between Christchurch and our sister and friendly cities in tourism, international education, trade, science and technology, economic development, as well as cultural exchange. Implementation of the housing policy ensure everyone has warm, dry, affordable housing, and also built new cycleway facility. Regarding to the local level in the Hornby, I would like to focus on two particular issues. First one, built in Hornby, new service center in the library, and the new Southwest Recreation and Aquatic Center. Improve the traffic situation and ensure all pedestrians can cross the road safely, because safety on the road is a priority for me, for the residents. And also, I want the council's decision-making to be more open and transparent through the engagement and the consultation with residents. As you are aware, our vision is greater place where people want to be, and our values, one team, making it happen with integrity and passion. So I'm looking forward to working together with the mayor, my fellow councillors, and the staff to serve our residents and to help in creating greater benefits for this city and the community. Once again, thank you for all. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Thank you.
Phil Clearwater.
I, Philip Thomas Clearwater, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform, in the best interests of the City of Christchurch, the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. My speech, I hope, will be short, but I want to start by saying that it's a real privilege for me to be re-elected as a councillor for the Spraydon ward. And I want to start by thanking my wife Pam for her support, not only my election campaign, but her ongoing support. And also I want to thank the members of my team for my campaign team. You've worked so hard with me, and I am grateful. My vision for this term is to make Christchurch a great city and a great environment for children and for families. And an example of my aims this term is to build another 9 major cycleways across Christchurch. And I won't build them alone, obviously. I need this. I could try, but I do need the support of council, our staff, the councillors, and the community boards, and also the support of our local communities, so that I know and I feel that we are all safe and connected together. And lastly, I want to thank the people of Spraydon for their support to me too.
Pauline Cotter.
Thank you. Kia ora. I, Pauline Francis Cotter, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform, in the best interests of the City of Christchurch, the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Why do I feel like it's lambs to the slaughter? Kia ora everyone, I'll try and make this brief as well because there are more of us now and we have to keep our speaking times limited. So it's an honour and a privilege to be re-elected to serve as councillor for the new Innis ward. And I want to thank everyone who's supported me over the years, 9 of them so far in local government, and also those who've helped me during the campaign period, especially my family who are sitting out there. Hi everyone, and to you too, Kev, for your continual encouragement and support. As elected members, we very often face tough decisions, and of course it's impossible to please everybody. So support from friends, family and colleagues is of the utmost importance. So last term we recognised the importance of good working relationships, and we set about repairing broken ones and strengthening others. And I'm especially proud of the way we've worked with Ngāi Tahu and with our regional council, and I'm looking forward to continuing the fruitful joint conversations. In fact, I actually can't see how either the City Council or a regional council could function effectively without working together. So we as councillors also fostered good team relationships among ourselves. So back then there were only 4 returning councillors, plus 2 new ones including the Mayor. A huge challenge for any organisation. This time we see 12 return, plus our Mayor. And so I'm hoping that this will be easier to keep our momentum going. We had to start from scratch last time, really had that feeling. We've really got the momentum going, I want to keep it going. And plus, we have an extra couple of women in our midst, so well done girls, and welcome. Always good. So although we still have lots of big challenges in our post-earthquake environment, I pick up huge positive feedback about every new building, every new project, every event in Christchurch, and I know that there are awesome things planned for New Brighton. And we just need to be patient. I know it's frustrating, but good things take time. One of my good friends was here from Auckland as part of the Scape Festival, and she was blown out with the new mood in Christchurch. And as she described it as a sea change, you can feel it. We can feel it. I can feel it. It's great. So I'm very much looking forward to this term, perhaps putting the foot down a bit harder on the accelerator, as the Mayor said. I agree with her, let's get it going. And our priorities such as water quality, water conservation, getting the buses right, climate change mitigation, and encouraging and enabling our people of Christchurch to get involved, especially in their community facilities, by sharing their talents and their dreams and their ideas. Kia kaha.
Councillor Mike Davidson.
I, Michael John Davidson, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interest of the City of Christchurch the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government and Official Information and Meetings Act 1987 or any other acts. Thank you. To ensure I kept it under the 2 minutes, I didn't pre-write a speech. So firstly, I'd like to acknowledge everyone that did stand successfully or unsuccessfully and all the people that voted, especially the 3,316 people in the Papanui ward. There's quite a few people I'd like to thank, and I guess one of the upsides of your parents divorcing is you get extended families, and so I'd like to thank my mother and father, Gay and Rob. You've been great, obviously. We've been trying for a few generations to get in council, and we've finally made it. And so, I think the Davidsons are improving every generation. So I'm really looking forward to see how my son Harry develops. He's just started university. He's thriving there. So hopefully, who knows what will happen with him. With the extended family, I get to thank the Mayor for helping and supporting me along the way, and also my mother's partner, Murray Jameson. It's really good having good role models to keep you on the straight and narrow. One of the things, being through the community board, I think you get a real good sense of community. So it's good being able to bring that into the council, keep working on the community projects, but then also lead the city. When I was campaigning, I wrote my priorities on my campaign flyer. So this is something I'm going to keep very close to myself, just to keep myself grounded and make sure that I work on what I said I would work on. And I gave these flyers to lots of people and I said, hold me accountable to these. So unfortunately, this is what I'm going to have to stick to. And that was traffic, rates, assets, our core services, water, communities and engagement. Finally, before I finish, the one person I really want to thank, I owe a lot to this person. She's my wonderful wife, Fiona. She kept me focused and motivated through this whole campaign. She was out there with me, door knocking, delivering flyers, and I couldn't have done it without her. Thank you.
Councillor David East.
I, David Colin East, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Christchurch City Council the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Good. Grab a seat.
Kia ora everyone. Firstly, I'd just like to say what a great privilege it is for me to be able to represent the Coastal Ward in this new triennium. A great privilege, and I thank the people of the Coastal Ward for their confidence in re-electing me. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of my son Jamie today, and more particularly my partner Lynn, whose awesome support and very sage advice I value immensely in my role as a city councillor. For me in this term, I think for the city, I really want to see progress with the major anchor projects, the convention centre, the Metro Sports, the multi-purpose arena, and continued emphasis on our infrastructure rebuild, our water and water quality particularly. As a City Councillor representing the Coastal Ward, I represent a community that have very strong views and opinions on how the eastern suburbs and particularly New Brighton should evolve, and I'm really conscious of a need this term to get in behind and make sure that projects like the hot salt water pools, the promenade, the rejuvenation of the New Brighton Business District happen. I'm also very passionate about coastal hazards and climate change, and I'm committed really to seeing a practical and measured approach to how we deal with those matters going forward in the next term. And lastly, I think in my campaign period I had the privilege of attending one or two youth functions, particularly one where the Youth with a Voice presented awards to our upcoming youth leaders in the city. I was quite blown away by the talent that we have in the city in terms of our young people coming forward, taking some very strong leadership roles in developing the city. And I thought to myself, we don't really engage enough with our younger people in bringing them into the decision-making process about how we are going to take our city forward. We are the current guardians, but these guys are the people that are going to take over the baton. They are the ones that are going to inherit the city. So I would like in this term to actually see that we as a council incorporate the views and opinions and and goodwill and that our youth have to offer, because they are the ones that are going to take us forward. So I think on that note, I'd like to congratulate my colleagues that have been elected. From what I see and what we've had this session here, I believe we have the makings of an excellent team, and I look forward to working with you all to develop this city further post-earthquake and into the future. Thank you.
Councillor Anne Galloway.
I, Anne Frances Galloway, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform, in the best interests of the City of Christchurch, the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council, by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, and any other act.
Have a seat.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Ko Anne Galloway aho. Ko Joyce Dore, taku mama. Ko Kevin Dore, taku papa. Ko Atautahi, taku ingao. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. It is such an honour to be elected to serve the Christchurch community in this role. I am here in large part because of the tremendous support of my family and friends, particularly my husband Hamish and my sister Jane, who worked tirelessly for me. It is my intention, with God's help, to represent the Hallswell ward to the best of my ability. I will work to give a voice to those who feel they don't have one in the decisions that are made by and for their communities. I will work to build a community where all feel valued and empowered to participate. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
Councillor Jamie Goff.
I, James Tracy Goff, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the City of Christchurch the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987 or any other act. Well, this is my third one of these now, so I'm delighted to be back as a re-elected City Councillor. Firstly, I would like to congratulate the Mayor, Leanne Dalzell. I'd like to congratulate Deputy Mayor, Andrew Turner. Congratulations to my re-elected councillor colleagues, and a special congratulations to the new councillors. We do have a really good team. We also are playing an important part in Christchurch at an exciting time in our history. I was elected just prior to the earthquakes originally in 2010, so I've seen Christchurch in its darkest days. I've seen it through recovery, and I believe we're in an exciting phase of regeneration now. The reason why I ran again for that third term is that I felt there was very much unfinished business. The regeneration phase of the city is a really exciting time. I would like to thank my wife Jasmine, who's here and who puts up with me, and my family, friends. I can't specifically thank the voters this time around, but I will thank the people. I'll take the win, but I'll thank the people of Christchurch for their continued support. The job isn't always an easy job, but it is an incredibly rewarding job. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be here, and I'm absolutely rapt to be giving my all to the city I love. So thank you all, and I look forward to doing my best to help make Christchurch the best city that we can possibly be.
Councillor Jani Johansson. Exciting declaration.
I, Jani Johansson, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform, in the best interests of the City of Christchurch, the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, and o te tiriti o Waitangi, or any other act. Thank you.
Can you sign it? I'm gonna sit down.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to say a few words. I just want to start with a Māori proverb. Ina kei te mohoi ko wai koe. I anga mai koe, I hei, kei te mohoi koe. Ki te anga, atua ki heia. It says, if you know who you are and where you are from, then you will know where you are going. As a young boy, I lived in Bamford Street, in a small workers' cottage that was old and cold. I walked the length of Garland's Road every day, past the unpleasant and obnoxious smells from the industrial sites, over the busy railway tracks, and across the narrow Opawa River footbridge, through Hanson's Park on my way to school. It was a journey of interesting, perhaps enjoyable experiences when you're 10 years old. But as a grown-up, as a parent, and as a city councillor, a journey that highlights the importance of representing an area that has a number of competing interests that impact on the well-being of the community across the economic, the cultural, the social and the environmental spheres. And while one's perspective with age may have changed, one's memories of what they experience can mould them into who they are today. Being sick, suffering from asthma because the air I was breathing was no good, and the place I was living was not ideal, and yet at the same time also remembering as a young boy Floss and Griff, the warm-hearted retired couple next door who lived in a modern brick house, who often invited us over for homemade baking and to give us fruit from their mini orchard of fruit trees. That warmth and kindness of others who shared with us who were less fortunate than themselves. Actions such as those are what led me to get involved in politics. It's what led me to joining and being a proud member of the Labour Party, standing up for the issues of social justice, environmental sustainability, and a fair deal for all. It's been and is a privilege to serve this city. This term of council, I'm committed to working hard to fix our broken streets and destroyed communities, to give a living wage to council employees and contractors, to have a sustainable city that protects, enhances and nurtures its natural and cultural environment, such as trees and heritage, a city that shows empathy and equity in dealing with those who have been impacted on, hit hardest by the earthquakes, and a city that cares, values, and involves all of its citizens in transparent and accountable governments that puts people and community at the heart of local decision making on the future rebuild, reconstruction, and regeneration of our city. Ihara takatoa I te toa, takitahi engari he toa takatini. It is not my strength alone, but the strength of many that contribute to my success. So I want to thank the People's Choice, the Labour Party, my friends, and my family for helping support me to be elected to the Linwood Ward. It is where I grew up a large part of my life. It is where I have started my family, and it is where I have made my home, and it is where my heart and passion is to serve. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all my colleagues who have been elected and to be sworn in today, and to the Mayor. Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Councillor Aaron Kewen.
I, Aaron Kewen, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Christchurch, City of Christchurch, the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information Meetings Act 1987, the Treaty of Waitangi and any other act.
Got to sign it first.
Thanks.
Okay, I had a prize for the shortest speech, and Aaron just won it, so there you go. Councillor Glenn Livingston.
I, Glenn Wallace John Livingstone, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the City of Christchurch the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. I was going to have a lolly just then during Aaron's speech, never got the chance just to loosen up the... Kia ora tātou, te lofa lava. I wish to also affirm Te Tiriti o Waitangi is a founding document, or the founding document in our life together. Congratulations to the new colleagues and returning colleagues. Technically, actually, we are all a new council. A special congratulations to the Mayor, congratulations to Deputy Mayor as well, Leanne and Andrew, and we look forward to working together. My family, a lot of them are here today, going from right to left. One of my brothers, Andrew, my wife, Anthea, Joshua, Brianna, Matthew, Pete, Olivia, Judy and Eric at the back. Thank you all for being here. You've always been my support crew. Anthea particularly has had to endure some very interesting occasions during the campaign, upon which where I said, well, do you think the other guy will get me? but it turned out that 4,947 votes later, it looked like I got him. So, but I wish to acknowledge them all, and Jeff, who's here as well, and Graham. They formed my kind of close wee campaign team. We worked out what we wanted to do. Jeff and Graham hadn't been in political campaigns, but I valued their view from the outside to try and get inside the shoes of our constituents and to see what they, how they would like a candidate and an incumbent to campaign. So I took it seriously. I door knocked on the final morning of the campaign. I always do that. That's just me. I know Vicky's giving me funny looks. That's just me. I guess a couple of things I'd like to say is that I think we still live in a city 6 years on from the quakes, and it's a kind of a state of an amplified hierarchy of needs. So on the one hand, we've got the big picture, reaching for the stars, which we must do and continue to position ourselves strategically. But on the other, we've still got to fix all the roads. And the roads and footpaths are shocking in many areas. So we've got to somehow hold both in tension together. And I really want us to nail these roads and footpaths this term, please, and to really focus on the most damaged parts of the city. The other reason I say that is according to that hierarchy of needs, when you actually hone in on that, you get greater buy-in, and I think people are in a better space to really get onto the big stuff. The other thing I want to say, which came out of the Youth Council forum, which they hosted a few weeks back, when they asked, how would you unite the west and the east of the city? I said I would unite them around the Avon or Takaro River corridor, because I think I want us to really, for once and for all, break down this east-west thing and get children, students of all schools, participating in that whole corridor, whether it's a flat water lake or not, whatever it is. Get us all together and put an end to this which school did you go to thing. So let's just, because I'm from the North Island, so I can say that, but let's just get it together, eh? And I think the unity starts with us, with our wards too. Your ward is my ward is your ward. Let's do it for the city. So thank you. This is a privilege and an opportunity to be in this role, and I look forward to our time together. Thank you.
Councillor Raf Manji.
I, Raf Alfred Manji, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the City of Christchurch the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Afternoon, everyone. I'll be very brief because I've got to get on a plane and go to Auckland, where tomorrow I'm talking at the National Infrastructure Conference about financing infrastructure. I get all the fun jobs to do around here, but it's actually crucially important. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about tomorrow to them is that infrastructure is not just roads and pipes. Infrastructure is libraries, community facilities, youth facilities, skate parks, hot water swimming pools, and anything basically that enables the community to do stuff. So there's a lot of talk about better business cases. I would like to see more better community cases when we talk about infrastructure. That is something that we have to finish off here, and I'm hoping the next council will get that job done. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank everyone who has supported me over the last 3 years in this job. It has been a hard 3 years. And to those who supported and persuaded me to do another 3 years, I'll let you know later. Thanks very much.
Councillor Tim Scandrett.
I, Timothy Peter Scandrett, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the City of Christchurch the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Kia ora, everyone. The downer about coming last, or one of the last, was that everything's really been said, but I have prepared a speech. First of all, I want to thank those supporters, those friends, but most of all my family, Carolyn, Isabella and George, so thank you very much. I was asked the other day by a 9-year-old what I won by, how many people voted for me. And I won't go into the details of the conversation because I didn't come out very well. But I think it is a reflection of the work that I did as a councillor for the old Spraden Heathcote ward, and the work that I will do and the faith that the people have in me in the new Cashmere ward. But also it's a reflection of what we as a council have done for the past 3 years, and hopefully we will continue as a team for the next 3 years. It's been an absolute privilege to work as a councillor for those communities and all our communities. I want to thank our CEO, our executive leadership team, and all council staff. It is a team effort, and there have been frustrating times at times, but it has been an amazing journey, I have to say. And I am still the only councillor who has the privilege to say that I have been an employee of this organisation, and it is an amazing organisation. So thank you all very much. Cheers.
Councillor Dion Swiggs.
I, Dion William Swiggs, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the City of Christchurch the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Well, having a last name of Swiggs is kind of usually a curse, because it's not quite usually at the end and people aren't excited at the end, but it's in that middle bit where people are kind of getting tired, so I'll kind of try and keep it short. I want to say a really big thank you to the people who voted for me in the Central Ward. It was quite a good battle with some really competent people who were in the ward or trying to be there, so I'm really thankful for those people for putting their hands up as well to be a councillor. I really want to say a big thank you also to my team who was working with me, and to my family who can't be here, especially my mother, my grandmother and my great-grandmother, who's nearly 100 years old. She wasn't out door knocking, but we always had food in the kitchen, and we always had food when we came home, and it was absolutely fantastic to have her and my whole family been involved. Unfortunately, my father unexpectedly passed away late last year, and he couldn't be with us. He wanted to be here and be part of my journey in this. And so for this, I'm really thankful for him for giving me the drive and the passion. He was a selfless person. He gave, never had anything, but always gave. And that's taught me some really true values about community and actually being able to give something back even when sometimes you don't feel like you've got anything to give. I stood for council because I wanted to be part of getting things done for our city, As the rebuild moves into the regeneration phase, this is the time to create unity and a vision for our city, to bring together the fundamentals that will drive our economy and the people moving forward. I envision a lively city that's got a heart, that's accessible, safe and spontaneous, where people live, businesses thrive, and recreation activities are aplenty. Alongside this, the residential red zone plays a key part in activating this, and I'm really excited to continue the work that I have done with community people who have got such passion and ideas for that area, and I want to give them a voice. Our community spaces, our suburbs, offer so much to the local communities. Some of them still have some major issues that need to be resolved. As an example, the Linwood Community Village, it's a seemingly forgotten place. People there deserve to have some investment and deserve to have some attention. Done right, I see these communities have pride, proud to be local, and they look after each other. That takes a lot of effort, but it can happen. Insurance and repairs are still a big issue for our city, and this is a problem that I've been working with our communities for a long time now, and we cannot drop this drive. We need to make sure that these people are still looked after. No one should be left behind in our recovery. I foresee some issues around as-is, whereas houses, and I do want to see the City Council start looking at what we can do so that we can ensure that people aren't forced into unsafe and uninhabitable homes. Roads are also a big issue, and that's been said before. We have work to do. I'm really excited to be part of the Christchurch City Council. We can be the city of opportunity, a safe city, a yes city, and a city that people want to live in. So thank you everybody who's been supporting, and congratulations to the fellow councillors as well. Thank you.
And Councillor Sarah Templeton.
I, Sarah Louise Templeton, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the City of Christchurch the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Christchurch City Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, Te Tiriti o Waitangi, and any other act. I'd like to start with a really heartfelt thanks and gratitude to those who've supported me through the last few months. To my campaign team and to my family and friends who've always been there for me, thank you. I'd like to especially mention my husband Callum and my kids David, Jack and Caitlin, who isn't here. This is a big change for our family, and your support has been enormous, and I thank you. Also to the residents of the Heathcote ward, I don't know the exact number, sorry, for your trust and your belief in me as I serve and represent you around the council table. Thank you. The last 3 years as Community Board Chair for Hagley Ferry Mead have been an incredible experience, stimulating and rewarding, though at times frustrating, and they've been excellent grounding for me as I move into council. While we work on the repair and the rebuild of our city continues, we face other challenges too. The biggest of these is climate change, and with it sea level rise. As a city, we must work together to both adapt and mitigate the impacts, not just for us, but for our children and for the future generations who will call Christchurch home. While we have our major projects such as the cycleways, which are already working towards this end, it is in our communities that I see huge potential. My journey to council started in Heathcote Valley with a protest about the demolition of a local facility, one that is now nearly rebuilt. These local facilities are essential for our communities to connect and grow strong in. Our local shops support our economy and enable us to walk or cycle instead of driving, and also need our support. A connected community is much better placed to deal with the challenges that are thrown at it, and many are well on the way, as we can see with the proliferation of community gardens and orchards around the city. But while the focus has been, understandably, on the rebuild, we must also not forget those who never had anything to start with, those individuals and communities that are struggling with income, with housing and with isolation. Let us rebuild an inclusive city, an innovative city and an optimistic city for a future that is going to be very different to our past. And let us do it together. Let us all play our part in whatever way we can, whether we volunteer with a community group, write submissions, advocate or protest, report graffiti or potholes, run a business, pick up litter, start a garden or stand for office. We all play our part. And as I look forward to the next 3 years, I am optimistic and, yes, realistic, and I look forward to working with my new colleagues and playing my part. Thank you.
Take them off. Oh, but please take your seats.
Where are
Ref?
It's got to start early, Tim.
We have yours.
Oh, pretty good. I had two during that. I had to wait. Was it Aaron? You are?
My mouth dries up when I get nervous sometimes. I put on battery, loosen it up, and you'd already taken it.
Did you give me salt on the soft one?
Appreciate it, man.
Excuse me.
Everyone pop their name tags over. Right. Great. That concluded item 4 on the agenda. I will now move to item 5 on the agenda, which is the report of the Electoral Officer Triennial Elections, 8th of October 2016. We have Joe Daly at the end of the table, but I'm sure that somebody would like to move that we receive the information in the report. Sarah Templeton, seconded Jimmy Chen. I'll put that, before I put the motion, I just want to say thank you to Jo for the hard work that she undertook and her entire team in being our returning officer. So I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Item number 6 on the agenda is the explanation of statutory requirements. Mr. Ian Thompson, no, I won't call you to the table. Would someone like to move that we receive the information in the report? Aaron Kewen, seconded Tim Scandrett. I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. So I am sorry. So I have exercised. Item number 7 is just a simply notification that I have exercised my power under Section 41A(3)(a) of the Local Government Act 2002 and appointed Andrew Turner as the Deputy Mayor. Oh, go on, we'll do it. And would someone like to move that? Can you scroll back? Oh, right, yes, that the council appoint the following councillors to the community boards situated in the council's district. Would someone like to move that? Pauline Cotter, seconded by Mike Davidson. I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. And the date of the first ordinary meeting of the council will be held on Wednesday, the 2nd of November 2016 at 10 a.m. Just for those that are used to coming to council on Thursdays, that is simply because the Local Government New Zealand have their training day for new councillors from across the region on the Thursday. So we'll hold our first meeting of council on Wednesday, the 2nd of November, and I think Andrew Turner would like to move that, and seconded by David East. I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. And I think that that is the conclusion of business. But can I just finally get the last word, as I usually do? Simply say congratulations to all my new colleagues and welcome you to the table as representatives of your individual wards, but as representatives of the City of Christchurch. I actually personally feel incredibly optimistic about the next 3 years and what we're going to achieve, and I think everyone has now heard from our councillors and how committed they are to ensuring that we make the most of the 3 years, and we really do set the wheels in motion for a truly great future for our city. So thank you all very much for putting your names forward and for having the willingness to represent the people of Christchurch. So thank you very much. I declare our inaugural meeting closed.